Well, first of all, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, I am Patrick Smith. This is our third ER trip in like 4 or 5 days. I had someone, they reached out to me. They had some questions. I guess the primary reason people are for forced vaccination is for the people that are immunocompromised. And so being a thoughtful person that this person was, rather than sort of form opinions based on feels, took the time to reach out to me and say, hey, you're someone that I know that has an immunocompromised child or family member, so I have some questions for you. They were really thoughtful questions, and I thought rather than just answer her directly, that I would make a video so that other people might be able to benefit from these thoughts or insights into what it's like to have an immunocompromised, or what that means is somebody with a reduced immune system, an immune system that doesn't function, somewhere in between not at all to almost not at all. When you're trying to have these discussions with people that are for government, forcing people to inject themselves with vaccinations for the purposes of the people, like what I'm dealing with here. So I wanted to do this video to give people a frame of reference. We're here, and basically the way it works is anytime she pops a fever, and the threshold for a fever is about where you'd think it is, around 101. Anytime that happens, we have to, within an hour or less, get her to the ER and have them start a IV antibiotic treatment. This is because if it ends up being something bad, bacteria, viral, whatever, her normal defenses aren't there. And so very quickly it can run out of control. From the time you pop a fever until the time it is a life and death situation, can be a few hours in some cases. And like sepsis can set in very quickly, things like that. It's something that we've had to craft our entire life around for the past year and a half to protect her. This person says that they're trying to ratchet down the insanity, exploring how this problem can be solved with something less than this nuclear option of government guns requiring, taking direct control and forcing things into people's bodies. So it's very thoughtful of this person to actually reach out to do the effort to learn rather than just follow one's preconceived notions about the situation. I'm not going to discuss in this video vaccinations. I'm just going to try and answer these questions. So question number 1, what type of protections do you expect or want from the public? What an awesome question. One that I've never been asked before, one that I've never even heard asked before. So I want to take a moment to honor this person and respect this person for thinking to ask that question. We're in this impossible situation. What do we expect or want from Joe Public? Well, obviously it can't be something very difficult or complicated. But without even getting into the vaccination discussion, there is so much that Joe Public can do, and it's not hard stuff. So if you are sick, you just recognize that fact and you modify your behavior a little bit. I mean, don't go to places with a lot of people. Stay home if you can. Try not to expose other people to your body while you are sick. Period. End of sentence. When you are sick, especially when you're symptomatic, you have to sort of think about yourself as a weapon that can and will hurt and kill people. When you're sick, to a certain subset of the population, you're a weapon. Do what you can to just reduce your contact with the general public, especially in large public places where people kind of have to go. Like there are times where we have to go out in public in places where there's lots of people and we just can't avoid it. When we go out, we're obviously really paranoid because it's not even her. Like we never bring her to these public places, but we have to worry about ourselves because we'll go out and we'll interact with people and then we bring home things, and that is just as dangerous as taking her to some of these places directly. Number 2, the second thing I would kind of ask the public. I think hand sanitizer is like this secret of the first world that I guess people don't give enough credit and don't realize how amazing this is at preventing illness. For the past year and a half, we've kept hand sanitizer all over our house. And we're not like nut jobs about it. Like when we do something that might have to do with bacteria, little hand sanitizer, that's it. We have gotten sick so much less just by using hand sanitizer. Number 3, if you're sick and you're symptomatic and you have to go out in public, especially a place with a lot of people where you might come in contact or expose people to your body weapon, wear a little medical mask. I don't think that's unreasonable. Okay, question number 2 is, what do we do to protect my daughter who is immunocompromised? The laundry list is quite extensive. She has weekly visits where blood work is done to determine the exact efficaciousness of her immune system week to week. There's a measure of your immune system strength, let's say, called ANC. It can range from 0, obviously, all the way to about 10,000. 7 to 10,000 is a really good healthy level. During the primary phase, like the first year of her treatment, they were zeroing her out completely. And so during that time, we are ultra paranoid because little things, there is no such thing as a little thing. We are on a scale of 0 to literally sealing her in a bubble. We're like at 9. She fell and scraped her knee and got a little bit of fungus, just random fungus that exists everywhere in the world. The normal person is absolutely immune to this thing. Well, it became a big deal for her, and that it got, she had fungus growing roots down into her knee, and it got into her lungs, and it was instantly a full-on life-threatening situation that she will now be on antifungals for the remainder of this treatment that will last over a year. So little things that literally we don't even notice we're totally immune to are absolutely life-threatening. And so for the first part of her treatment, we didn't leave the house if we didn't have to. We absolutely didn't take her anywhere. There's a lot of beeping happening here. And now that we're in kind of the follow-up phase, they call it the maintenance phase, rather than trying to zero her out, they're trying to keep her immune system in a narrow band around 1,500. So still very weak in terms of an immune system, but not absolutely zero. So the restrictions are a little bit more lax. We still try and keep her away from public places with a lot of people for the most part, but she's been in a bubble, figuratively, she's been in a bubble for so long now that to prevent psychological damage, there's still a need to let her get out and go to playgrounds and things like that. The playgrounds are one of the most dangerous places. It's like a war zone, because every kid from every public school soup of scum and villainy and disease goes and rubs themselves all over this playground equipment, and then your little kid wants to go and have fun like a normal kid does, and they need that playtime. And so we're at the point now where we kind of have to start making some exceptions and allowing these times to happen. But what then happens is we pick up stuff, and every single time we pick something up, we call it the fever dance now, because it literally happens so often and it's really excruciating. What that means is she pops a fever, and we have, like I said, we have that window of time where we have to get her straight to the ER, start the antibiotics and whatever. So we're in this self-tortured place where we have to sort of expose her to things, but also that kind of destroys our life. For the third time in the past 5 days, we've done the fever dance, and that destroys your productivity. Can't go to work, can't get anything done at the house, can barely take care of the family. We keep her the hell away from anybody that's symptomatic. She'll wear a mask anytime we're out in public when there's a lot of people around, or when it's near a construction site. This is a thing that most people don't even notice, but construction sites, anytime there's a lot of dirt stirred up into the air, that dirt almost always contains fungus that, again, you and I are totally immune to, but life-threatening situation for her. And the other thing is we still keep her away from most other children. So the problem with children, though, is that it's very difficult to sort of monitor the contacts, monitor everything that they've touched so that they don't touch the same stuff, things like that. It's like a constant paranoia. It's like a little demon that sits on your shoulder. You want to say hi again? Okay. Hi. You're constantly paranoid. You're constantly looking out for things that might be sources of disease, of viruses and bacteria and fungus. That it just becomes part of everyday life, things that you have to think about to keep her safe, because she doesn't have her own protection right now. It's sort of like we are her immune system in advance kind of thing. And when we fail, we end up, here in the ER at 4 a.m. like we are now again, waiting for the antibiotic IV to finish so that they can run her blood work to see if there's any signs of nastiness and clear us so that we can go home and maybe do it again tomorrow. We're protecting her against a range of things, and we're balancing risk on the edge of a knife. And we're mitigating the really extreme risks by doing a lot of things, and we're letting up in some ways on the lesser risks so that there's not too much like psychological damage from being sequestered and placed in a bubble throughout 3 years of her life from this process. Like everything else aside, does hand sanitizer work? What do you think? Yeah. Do you want to say anything? Yeah, a lot of people are going to see this. Do you want to say anything? How old are you? 4? All right. You're almost 5 though, right? Yeah. Last question, I think. What are your thoughts on forced mass vaccination as a means to protect my daughter? Well, fantastic question. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Leave completely aside the entire vaccination, immunization, efficaciousness discussion. I'm not finally decided either way on that discussion, but it is immaterial to this question. The question that you just asked me is an ethical question about self-ownership. It is about self-ownership. Who owns your body? The owner of that body is the only person that can decide if it's acceptable to put something inside of that body. So from an ethical perspective, there is no excuse to force other people to do things to their body for any reason, even my own daughter's safety. And I hope it's clear how powerful that message is coming from someone in our situation. The ethics are above all. You cannot sacrifice someone else's rights for your safety. That is evil. I will not sacrifice someone else's rights, even for the safety of my own family, because I will not do evil in their name. What kind of a man and father would I be? What do you think? Yeah. All right. Do you want to say bye to the people?
Bye.
Hey, we should say our Smith thing. Do you want to? What is it?
What's this?
We are Smiths.
We Smith. We cry when we need to.
We are tough and we cry when we need to, right? That is our family motto. Have a family motto if you have a family. Ours is, we are Smiths, we are tough as hell, and we cry when we need to.